Hi, in this lesson we are going to be introducing integers. For the most part, this lesson should be a review. You should have received this information last year, but if you don't remember some of these things, that's the beauty of video. You can replay this as you need it. Make sure that you have your notes page, and let's take a look at what you're responsible for knowing. These are the vocabulary words that we're going to go over today. Of course, you need to be able to define what an integer is, as well as understanding the number line, positive and negative integers, zero, and opposite. We are then going to take a look at some real-life applications for these vocabulary words. The first thing that I want you to take a look at is this example of a number line. And to begin, let's define integers as all of the whole numbers and their opposites. So what do I mean by that? If we take a look at this number line, you will notice that you've dealt with number lines since elementary school, and you never really started with 0 as the first number. 0 is in the middle of a number line. Numbers go to the right of 0 and to the left of 0. The integers that go to the right of 0 are considered positive numbers or positive integers, and these numbers have a value that are greater than 0. Numbers that go to the left of 0 on a number line are negative numbers or negative integers, and they have a value that's smaller than 0, that's less than 0. 0 is neither positive nor negative. It has not a positive or a negative value. Quantities, or amounts of things, can be shown as positive or negative. Now, when we're talking about a number line, points on a number line can show two pieces of information. First, they can show distance. When we have a point on a number line, it can tell us how many places away from 0 we're talking about, and that's the distance. Points on a number line can also show direction. Are we going to the right of 0, which would be positive integers, or are we going in the direction of left of 0? So, distance and direction can be shown on a number line. Another thing that you're responsible for knowing is opposites. If we take a look at this number line, it's been drawn a little differently. In this case, the points we're counting by 2, and we have 2 points marked here. We have a -4 marked and a +4 marked. Notice how I wrote them. -4 has the little minus sign in front of it, but if I'm indicating a positive number, I don't need to put the little plus sign to indicate positive. I can simply just have the number and we'll know that it's positive. On this number, -4 and +4 are considered opposites. Opposites mean that they are both the same number of spaces away from 0, but just in opposite directions. So an opposite number is a number that is the same distance from 0, but in different directions. Finding opposites is easy. It's the same number, but just with the opposite sign. So on your notes page, let's fill in some examples. If you had a +7, in this case, I did indicate it with a positive sign, the opposite would be the same number, just the opposite sign. So it would be a -7. The opposite of a -3 would be a +3. 120 has no sign in front of it, therefore we know that it's positive, and the opposite of 120 would be -120. If we take a look at some real-life applications to these definitions, reminding ourselves that integers are all the whole numbers and their opposites. In real life, you might see integers when we refer to temperature. For example, today it's about 72 degrees, but in a handful of months, it's hard to believe that it is going to be possibly below 0, in which case we would indicate that with a negative integer. Money. Most of the time in our bank account, we hope for positive integers, right? At least I do. So if you have money in the bank, then you would have positive integers representing that. But if I spend too much money and I write checks and I don't have the money in my account, then my account would be demonstrated with a negative integer. In sports, you might see positive and negative integers, for example, football, when players gain yards or they lose yards. You might see integers in depth when you're talking about how high a mountain is in altitude above sea level, or a diver diving below sea level. Increases and decreases are represented by positive and negative numbers, and then if you think of gains and losses, weight gain, weight loss can be represented by integers. On your fill-in sheet, you have some practice problems that I'd like you to try on your own, and then we're going to do some activities together and in small groups.